Setagaya, Tokyo, a peaceful suburb where life flows with the rhythm of quiet normalcy. But on the night of December 30, 2000, that calm was shattered in ways too horrifying to imagine. The Miyazawa family. Mikio, a dedicated father. Yasuko, a loving mother. Niina, an energetic 8-year-old girl, and Rei, an adorable 6-year-old boy, were found brutally murdered in their own home. The crime was both shocking and bizarre. The killer left behind an astonishing amount of evidence. DNA, fingerprints, even clothing. Yet more than 2 decades later, justice remains elusive. But this case holds an unexpected twist. A connection that stretches across the Pacific Ocean to Los Angeles, California. Could the key to this unsolved crime lie in the sprawling streets of the City of Angels? Despite the clues, the killer slipped away, leaving behind more questions than answers. Could he be hiding in plain sight, blending into the crowd of a city over 5,000 miles away? The Miyazawa family lived in a quiet corner of Setagaya, a picturesque suburb of Tokyo. Their home was nestled beside a public park, offering a sense of tranquility to their everyday lives. But on the night of December 3, 2000, that tranquility was replaced by unimaginable horror. The next morning, relatives arriving to celebrate the new year made a discovery that would haunt Japan for decades. The entire Miyazawa family, Mikio, Yasuko, Niina, and Rei, had been savagely murdered. Mikio, the father, was found at the foot of the stairs showing signs of a brutal struggle. Yasuko and Niina were discovered in a bedroom upstairs, their lives taken with horrifying violence. Rei, the youngest, was found in his bed, seemingly attacked in his sleep. Shockingly, the killer didn't flee after the murders. He stayed in the house for hours. Using the family's computer, he searched the internet. He ate ice cream from their fridge. He even left behind used items, including bloody towels and tissue paper. The crime scene was a forensic goldmine. Investigators recovered the killer's clothing, DNA, and fingerprints. The evidence painted a vivid picture of the individual, but not his identity. Among the items left behind was a knife purchased just days earlier, clothing rarely sold in Japan, and even sand traced to a specific area. The clues were abundant, but they raised as many questions as answers. Who was this person who committed such a heinous act? And why did he remain in the home, seemingly unbothered by the aftermath of his crime? The investigation into the Setagaya family murders began immediately, as law enforcement worked tirelessly to piece together the events of that horrific night. The evidence left behind provided a clear timeline of the killer's actions. December 30, 2000. Sometime after 11:30 p.m., Mikio Miyazawa likely heard a disturbance and went to investigate. Evidence suggests he confronted the killer at the staircase, where a violent struggle ensued. Mikio fought fiercely but ultimately succumbed to his injuries. The killer then moved to the second floor, where Yasuko and Niina were attacked. Lastly, Rei, the youngest, was likely killed in his bed, never waking from his sleep. But what shocked investigators even more was the killer's behavior after the murders. He displayed a strange, unnerving calm. The killer accessed the family's computer, visiting websites and even attempting to send an email. He ate food from their kitchen, used their bathroom, and lingered in the home for hours, as though completely unfazed by what he had done. The items he left behind only deepened the mystery. A rare sweatshirt sold by a specific retailer pointed to someone with unique tastes. The murder weapon, a sashimi knife, had been purchased locally just days before the crime. And, perhaps most perplexing, sand found in his pockets was traced to a beach near Kanagawa, an area several miles from the crime scene. This discovery suggested that the killer might have traveled from outside Tokyo, or that he had connections to multiple locations. But despite these clues, his identity remained elusive. The picture painted by these findings was chilling, a man who acted with deliberate brutality, but with an inexplicable lack of urgency. A man who left behind a trail of breadcrumbs, yet managed to disappear completely. Amid the trove of evidence left behind by the killer, one item stood out: a rare sweatshirt. Upon further investigation, authorities discovered that this specific brand and design were sold exclusively in Los Angeles, California. The discovery raised a startling possibility. Could the Setagaya killer have traveled to or even lived in Los Angeles? Japanese authorities launched an exhaustive effort to trace the origins of this and other items left behind. They reached out to clothing manufacturers and distributors in the United States, meticulously following every lead. But the investigation faced significant challenges. Despite their best efforts, communication barriers and jurisdictional differences slowed progress. Coordinating with American authorities to trace the sweatshirt's exact origin proved to be a daunting task. Investigators combed through records in Los Angeles, hoping to find a clue that would connect the item to a specific person. Yet, the trail remained frustratingly cold. This discovery, however, hinted at a broader story, one that spanned continents. Could the killer have ties to Los Angeles? Was he a frequent traveler? Or had he vanished into the city's endless crowd, leaving behind nothing but questions? The connection to Los Angeles wasn't just a clue, it was a chilling reminder of how easily borders can blur in the search for justice. And with no further leads, the question remained, could the killer still be hiding in plain sight? More than 2 decades have passed since that fateful night in December 2000, yet the identity of the killer remains a mystery. Who was this individual who shattered the peace of a quiet suburban family? And why did he choose the Miyazawas as his victims? Was this a random act of violence, or did the killer know the Miyazawa family? Despite extensive investigations, authorities found no clear motive, leaving one of the case's most haunting questions unanswered. And then there's the connection to Los Angeles. Was this a vital clue, pointing to a killer with ties to 2 continents? Or was it a red herring, a coincidence that led investigators down a fruitless path? Perhaps the most confounding question of all is how the killer has eluded capture despite the overwhelming evidence left behind. His DNA, his fingerprints, even his clothing, each piece offered a fragment of his identity. Yet, when assembled, they still failed to reveal the whole picture. Was he a drifter, blending seamlessly into the shadows, or someone with the resources and cunning to stay one step ahead of the law? These unanswered questions remain at the heart of the Setagaya family murders, a case that continues to baffle investigators and haunt the memories of all who hear its story. Over the years, investigators have proposed several theories about the Setagaya family killer. One hypothesis suggests he could have been a traveler, someone passing through Japan who committed the crime before vanishing back into anonymity. Another theory posits that he might have been a foreign resident in Japan, familiar enough with the area to execute the crime with precision, yet disconnected enough to evade suspicion. Perhaps the most intriguing possibility is that the killer had dual ties, someone with roots in both Japan and the United States. This would explain the Los Angeles connection and his ability to elude capture on 2 continents. The mystery has also captivated the public. Online sleuths have scrutinized every piece of evidence, crafting their own theories about the killer's identity and motive. Some believe he was a serial offender, targeting the Miyazawas as part of a broader, calculated pattern. Others speculate the crime was deeply personal, perhaps a grudge or vendetta. And then there's the chilling question of whether the killer struck again. Could the Setagaya murders be linked to other unsolved crimes in Los Angeles? Some investigators have explored this possibility, searching for patterns in both cities. So far, no definitive connections have been made. But the idea remains a haunting prospect. Whether he was a traveler, a resident, or someone living a double life, the killer's ability to evade justice has left a void filled with speculation. Theories abound, but the truth remains maddeningly out of reach. Over 2 decades later, the shadow of the Setagaya family murders still looms over this quiet Tokyo neighborhood. The home, now abandoned, is a solemn monument to a tragedy that shook the community to its core. For the Miyazawa family's surviving relatives, the loss remains a wound that time has not healed. Their calls for justice echo through the years, a testament to their resilience and love for Mikio, Yasuko, Niina, and Rei. In the years since the crime, advancements in forensic technology have reignited hope that the killer may one day be identified. DNA analysis techniques have become more sophisticated, allowing for greater accuracy and the possibility of building a complete genetic profile. Global law enforcement databases continue to grow, increasing the chances of a match. Each new breakthrough brings investigators closer to the answers that have eluded them for so long. The Setagaya murders have also captured the imagination of people far beyond Japan. The case has been the subject of countless discussions, documentaries, and online investigations, making it one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in modern history. This case is a perfect storm of mystery, a brutal crime, a trove of evidence, and a connection spanning continents. It's no wonder people all over the world are still talking about it. As the years pass, the Setagaya family murders remain an enduring enigma. For the families, investigators, and those captivated by the mystery, one hope endures, that one day the truth will finally come to light. The Setagaya family murders stand as one of the most haunting unsolved cases in modern history. A brutal crime that shattered a family, left a neighborhood in shock, and spanned continents in its mystery. Despite the overwhelming evidence, the killer's identity and his motive remain unknown. Why did he target the Miyazawas? Was the connection to Los Angeles the missing puzzle piece, or a distraction from the truth? Could the key to solving this horrific crime still lie hidden in Los Angeles? Perhaps someone, somewhere, holds a piece of information that could bring justice to a family who deserved none of this. This case isn't just a story, it's a call to action. By sharing new insights, theories, or leads, you could play a role in unraveling one of the greatest mysteries of our time. Together, we can keep the memory of the Miyazawa family alive and, one day, bring their killer to justice. If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover more true crime mysteries, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the shadows. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time as we reveal more untold stories.